There is a game that I've had my eye on for quite a while called Neverness to Everness. It is an open world anime RPG gacha game. Basically imagine Grand Theft Auto meets Genshin Impact, and it's already had not only this original trailer, but they've had demos, they've had first beta has already gone on, and there's a ton of points on the game that look really, really cool. This is a sponsored video, so I'll obviously be talking about what I like about the game, but Neverness to Everness has agreed to allow me to be as critical as I see fit. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna analyze all the information that we have available between the different trailers and also the gameplay, and talk about some of my criteria when evaluating a game and whether or not the different aspects I look for are present here. And as we go through all the footage and all of the gameplay, make sure you go down below if you get interested in the game and you want to pre-register. It really helps out the channel. Definitely go do that if you haven't done so already. I guess for starters, I'd like to talk about my initial impressions. As a fantasy guy, I'm not immediately as in love with a city as I would be in love with like a fantasy city, but they have this undergirded fantasy element to it. So I'll start playing the next trailer and we can talk about this one. So she's walking through this normal place, right? There's stuff to buy, we're in a shop, but then we're exploring and suddenly it turns from being a normal, just regular cityscape. But as she's walking along, something happens and the place shifts to being very fantasy, very weird. Stuff is coming alive. I love the graffiti art style. It sort of reminds me of Wuthering Waves, how they have like it's the apocalyptic style, but this, instead of being apocalyptic, it's sort of just like the fantasy elements took over the city and they're sort of like infecting it or something. And it's sort of like, reminds me like in Stranger Things where you have the real world and then you have the upside down. This is kind of, I really like the concept of having the city and having the upside down city, right? So you have that fantasy twist on it. And I really like the look of this. I think that the enemies look really creative. I think that looks really, really interesting. I will say, I'm going to turn off the sound just for now. But I think that the animations look good, but not insane. Like I like the graphical art style. The animations look good. I feel like the combat fluidity, I don't know how fun it looks. I'd have to watch like more optimized gameplay, I guess, to get an idea of how fun the combat looks. It's kind of hard to tell for me personally, how, because that's a big part, right? How fun is the combat? Also, I love this library. You can see it shift. Like this is a really engaging, an immersive and unique and inspiring thing. And so that's what I really look for in games. Like that's very, very important to keep me around is, does the world immerse me? Does the world inspire me? I thought that I cared about gameplay, and I do, but it turns out to be only one of the things that I really, really cared about. And that's one of the reasons why I dropped Wuthering Waves and ZZZ, is I just didn't feel like the overall immersion of the games inspired me, and it really brought me into the world. And that's personally what I love about Genshin Impact, that it keeps me invested in the world. And, you know, I have no way to know whether this game will do that for me right now, because we're just watching, you know, really beta, well, not beta, but we're just watching it. We're not actually playing it, and it's not like we're watching really high level stuff, but it looks like, at least with the potential, the setup that they have, I do see at least some potential for it to immerse me. So that's the first thing that I look at. The second thing that I look at when I cover, or when I consider playing or really covering a game like this, is the character designs. How good are the actual character designs? And I feel like for me personally, and everyone's going to have their own tastes, it's super subjective, right? Character design, one of the most subjective thing. I think that there's like mass appeal, right? There's things that appeal to more people, and so you could argue that that's a bit more objective, is what will appeal to the most people. But I think I would prefer to talk about what is appealing to me personally. So before we will look at them driving the car. I'll bring it back here, but I do want to cover the character designs from the website first. So I want to look at that first. Character designs matter so much to me because you spend so much time with your characters. You spend so much time looking at them. You have to end up getting attached to them so that you have the investment to actually level them up. And personally, Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, for me personally, both are just S tier character designs, and they really like make me really, I really like them. for me, Wuthering Waves is maybe just below that, and on the whole, and then Zenless Zone Zero just a bit below that. Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves have both hugely improved since launch by adding new characters. That's something that I find is very common. Star Rail also improved since launch, and so did Genshin Impact. If you go back and look at the 1.0 character designs, they were nowhere near as good as the designs that are coming out now. Like all the new Wuthering Waves, the new Zenless Zone Zero characters all look a cut above. For this game, I really like this character. Furry, the cat ears and cattail is not like, doesn't super get me going, but it does add some intrigue. It does add some niceness. I do like this character. I would say she's like, for me, like above average for a starter cast, right? I would say, because when you look at Genshin Impact, their starter cast, it wasn't that great. It was good, but I wouldn't say until Ganyu and Hu Tao came out, it didn't really achieve the S tier status. And Acheron was when I truly fell in love with Honkai Star Rail designs, although Jingliu, I think, also achieved that S tier status for me. Silverwolf even to a degree. So I would give this game, as long as this game has good character designs at launch, I would expect, as most of these games do, the 1.1, 1.2, etc. designs to get even better. So this one, quite good. This one, I also think is quite good. I don't think neither of them hit like the S tier for me, but both of them are like a solid A. They are both cat girls, which is a bit, again, it's not totally my thing. And then this girl, okay, even though she's not my favorite design, because the small chibi characters are not my favorite ones to go for, the fact that she has this pet and how expressive she is with the pet and how she interacts with him really gets me excited for future character designs that also have an expressive pet like this. But what I would prefer, obviously, is a hot tall girl like one of these girls, and they're more normal, and then they have a pet like this. My biggest question is what other characters. I think just looking at these three, that's pretty promising in my opinion. It doesn't like make me totally sold on the game, but they're good enough that I really need to come back and see more. And this monster gives me lots of potential, good potential vibes. So that's really good. Next thing I want to talk about is they are driving this car, and that's pretty neat, isn't it? Not only can you play as your character, you can get a car, you can customize the car, you can drive around. I used to play GTA with my friends and not really play GTA. I don't know if any of you guys played like me. I would just grab a motorbike and go as fast as I can and try and jump off like really high places. Like I would try and drive to the top of that bridge and then but not like just the bridge, but like the bridge side rail and jump off like that. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. I would like to try to do jumps off of semi trucks and stuff like that. So, I got a soft spot for this. It wouldn't be a reason that I pick up this game, but I definitely think it adds to something. I would say it adds, especially, and there's this car customizing feature, which I think is awesome. It doesn't get me going personally. I don't care. I just don't care about cars personally. I'm not a car enthusiast. I'm not a car guy, but I'm definitely down to have a lot of things in the game that appeal to different types of players. So it is important that, to keep people immersed in the game, that they care about it, and you can customize your car and then they're driving out. I think that's neat. I think that's cool to have. It's probably not something that I particularly care about, but it does add to the overall immersion of the world. I hope that, what I would like is for some fantasy element to be added to the car, because that would be what gets me excited. Because what I like about the city is the fantasy twist they have to it. It doesn't seem like that there's a fantasy twist to the car, but that would be ideal for me anyways, is that something about the car is also fantasy-like. I don't know. That's what would get me more excited, but let's go. So you can drive, and I think for those of you who are wondering, I don't know if they'll show it here, but you can drive your car somewhere random and try and run people over and stuff and do public damage, and see that guy had to get out of the way real quick and stuff. So there is a degree of GTA baked into this, which is fun. Taking an elevator, I really do love the idea of getting super immersed in a world. That does seem really appealing to me. And a city is a good place to do that. You can feel safe in the city and then have it turn into more fantasy for your monsters and your adventures. I think that's really cool. I hope that you can. I wonder if is this her house. I think this is her apartment. If you can have your own apartment and customize it, that's pretty cool. And especially if people can visit it. And what I would love is to have your apartment and you can customize it and build it. And then maybe there's different achievements or different unlockables that you can get from, and you can show off. So when people come and visit your house, that you can, they can see all your cool stuff and be like, wow, this guy's, done some questing, or he's done some PvP, or he's done some whatever, and that's why he has, all these trophies, or all of these cool chairs, or this cool room, or whatever it is. Yeah, this is their house, and they've customized it. I think that's pretty dope, to be honest. And you got a great view. That does something for me, and I like the idea of like hanging out in a Discord call with your buddies, and like chilling in your virtual room, and having a chat, and then going out and killing some monsters. I don't know. That sounds kind of sick. That sounds kind of sick. Oh, this one's most replayed. I wonder what about this is most replayed. So we turn to this girl. Oh, and then she does. Ooh, that's a really cool. Oh, and then she can run on walls and run. Ooh. Oh, I like this. That's really cool. And then we've got like the Wuthering Waves kind of style glider. Ooh, but look at that. That's actually really nifty. I love this animation, by the way. It reminds me. Yeah, we've got like the little cartoon animation vibe, and it was a really smooth transition. That was a bit janky, but overall it's pretty good. And then they've got the Wuthering Waves style double jump as well. Not the Wuthering Waves invented the double jump and the glider, but you know what I mean. That's the most recent game that people are gonna know that this is like. And you can float down here. And go drive our car again. It's raining. I think the city looks even better when it's raining. They've done a really good job with the water physics. It looks beautiful, and it looks quite lived in. It feels quite big, quite immersive. I wonder how it'll feel. I think a city is also... Ooh, that's the good physics there. I think it'll make sense for an MMO to be in a city. When you're in a fantasy world, sometimes it can be weird to see people everywhere, but in a city, you expect to see people everywhere. So it makes sense. Oh, we've got a bit of first person there. More driving. Okay. Oh, what's going on there? Okay, so we're driving, and then something glitches. Something hits the ground, and then something appears, and we're in like this high-speed chase after... Is that something on a bike? Is that some sort of monster on a bike? Yeah, it looks like it's some sort of enemy on a bike that we're chasing after. And then it knocks over a bus. This is really cool. I really like this. Okay, and then it's turning more and more, and we're driving into the fantasy, the twisted dimensions, getting... Okay, person on bike. Okay, pretty cool enemy design. And a bit of a janky animation. What's going on here? Okay, bike versus car, explosions. Interesting. I'm intrigued. They did look a bit stiff. It looks like a bit of an unfinished animation, but I do really like where they're going with this, with the transition from city vibes into fantasy. So okay. So we're going to watch a bit more. So this person's named Natalie. So we watch. So climbs up, jumps down. Oh, so we've got some character skill showcase. Cool. So she turns into a tornado. Animation started really cool and then looked a bit empty. Overall, I would say it's quite good. I wouldn't say that it like blows the stuff that we have out of the water, but I think with some more polish, like I think it's a great frame, and if they continue to polish and continue to spice it up, just continue to evolve it, I think that there's really good bones here. They're definitely being very creative, and that looks cool too. Oh, and she's got a little pet as well. I'm a fan of the more stylized pets as opposed to the realistic pets, so I do like how they look. Okay, now this girl, she's using this as like a hammer. Very fun, very fun. Now her ultimate animation. Yeah, and he's throwing a bunch of stuff out of his mouth. It's like on a staff. Fun. And then this is like, I guess this is the MC. She looks pretty good, but a bit generic, I would say. I'd like a bit more flash or personality on her. I wonder if it's customizable. I know this company is the one who made Tower Fantasy. Oh, okay, wait, her alt animation looks sick though. Okay, that looks cool. Okay, I think her alt animation is a bit more unique than her actual design, in my opinion. I wonder how it looks like fighting enemies. Okay, walking in the rain. Like I said, absolutely quite beautiful. Like the rain really brings out the best in the city. I think it, like the reflections, it really shows off the game. I wouldn't say it looks like crazy next gen, but it only needs to hit a certain level of goodness to be immersive, and I would say that this definitely hits that for me. And I expect that we'd see more creative locations as time passes, and I think that there's also like an inherent surprise about at any time things could shift and it could look like, you know, the more fantasy world instead of the just the cityscape. All right, so we're walking around. Oh, and then we're taking a bus. How fun. I really do like the idea of that. I don't know, like, I don't want to take the bus everywhere I go, but I guess if there's some special event that you have to go to on the bus, then that's kind of immersive, although it seems to be moving very slowly. And then you go to first person. That's hilarious. And then the camera angles are changing. I like the idea of like a meetup that you can only go to if you take the bus, although it seems to be going, like this red light seems to be taking forever. That seems a bit too realistic. I don't want to get stuck in traffic in my fantasy game. That seems to be what's happening though. We're stuck in traffic. I wonder if they're controlling the bus. I think for me to ever take the bus, I need to be able to like punch out the driver and drive it myself. I ain't waiting for him to take that red light. No way. That's hilarious. I guess I'll say I like the idea of taking a bus, but with how slow this is going, this just reminds me too much of real life. It's really funny. Yeah, so now we've in a Jeep. How fun. Nope, we jump on top of a moving vehicle. I mean, that's fun for sure. They're kind of doing all the immersive things you'd want to do. The swimming seems to work the way it does in all the games. I wonder if I'm sure you can get a boat and stuff. Ooh, this is kind of cool. There's like train tracks in the water. I like that. It's different. Not something you see in real life. I definitely don't want games to remind me too much of real life. The traffic is too real. This looks really cool though. And that scenery looks beautiful. Like you can this is peaceful, this is immersive, this is nice. Especially I wonder when the actual game comes out, like are there going to be enemies over here that I can go and fight with my buddies? I guess it's interesting to toe the line with a game like this between the single player and the multiplayer experience. I think a lot of the promise in a game like this comes to exploring it with my buddies. And I guess my next question is, what do we do while we're out here exploring? Because it looks nice. The environments are good. The concept is interesting. What do we do? Can we play the main story together? That would be really cool. Do we just fight mobs together? Do we unlock chests together? Like, what's the gameplay loop, I guess, is my next question. So we're riding a tram at night. Very cool. The tram through the water. Tram through the daytime. That's my next question is what's the, you know, what are the gameplay loops? What's the combat like? What are my goals in the game? What am I doing? Okay, now we're doing combat demo. So we're entering combat. We've got a bit of a dodge system, doing some fighting. Let's check this out. I really do like this person's alt animation, like the main character or whatever. Looks really cool. Kills the enemy. It's looking like it had, like I said before when we looked at the combat before, it has good potential. It's not quite polished, but I think it's still it's his first beta, so I think it's gonna get more polished. That's I think going to happen. So I feel like they have the bones and the inspiration present that I'm happy enough with how it looks to wait and see what'll happen next. And the enemies, they look inspired. This one looks a bit weird with his looks a bit messy. The other ones look inspired. This guy, he's on a surfboard. He's got big arms. He has a tail. This one is a total mess, but the other, as I'm saying how much I like the enemy design, no, they look unique, which is good. And the other ones I felt looked inspired. This one's a bit weird, but they all look reasonably unique, and I think that's important. I think a lot of it, I just see I see a lot of potential, and I want to know I'm really excited to see what the gameplay loops are. Here we're going shopping. We're buying some apples. Here we got some UI stuff. So here's the team selector. It looks good. For mobile, I'd like to see them fill up more of the screen a bit. But if you're playing on PC or a big screen, this is fine. I like the dynamic character poses. Yeah, I do like this character model. I hope that they show off more characters soon, because I think that they have a lot of promise, and I want to see if there's any ooh, hello. That's a nice shot. That's the best that character's looked so far. I think that the characters have a good amount of potential, and I want to see more, because one really well designed character can set a game on fire. So I think this is a really good design. Nice cosplay. Looks great. This is another one. This is the little girl. This is a little girl. Doesn't look so little when she's played by an adult, obviously. Okay, so we have a gameplay trailer. So let's get a bit of sound for this one. Here's some music. We'll turn it up a bit for you guys. Okay, here we go. Oh, is he playable? Okay, let's look at him. Totally. We got some more characters. Oh, perfect. He's like butler baker man. I think he looks good. It's not my style, but I think he looks unique and like distinct in a person. I think it looks good. Yeah, we know her. Oh, this one's new. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but either way, looks all right. I guess I prefer more adult-looking characters overall, but looks solid enough. Okay, no, it wasn't the little girl. This is a different character. She looks great. Depending on her animations and like her gimmicks and stuff, this could be a really good design, a really appealing design. Yeah, kind of got that seductive kind of vibe. Yeah, I like that. Oh, okay. So she's got eye patch, boobs, thigh window. I think I don't like her as much as I like the other ones, but I think I give her like a B+, whereas I'd give this guy like a B-. This girl, I give her like an A with the possibility of being higher depending on like what her animations look. And then this one, B+ with possibly higher depending on her animations as well. Oh, she kind of like, they kind of have a full team shot here. Yeah, I think they're definitely A with potential to be higher for the girl on the left. Girl on the right looks cool too. I find it a bit less cohesive, and I like this guy. I think he's a solid B+ with potential for more. I think these designs have potential. I'd like to see all their animations and stuff as well. Here's the car. Drifting, very good. Music kind of goes. I like it. Got that urban beat. Yeah. Oh, okay, there's more. Yeah, of course, this is supposed to be a gameplay trailer. Is this another new character? Kind of looks like it. This is MC. This footage already looks like cleaner and a bit more polished than the other one already. Just the overall aesthetic of it. I don't know if it's higher res, if it's, you know, more colors or whatever it is, but it definitely looks smoother as well. I don't know if it's higher frame rate as well. But it does look better. The combat looks a good bit more polished as well. Some of the animations are still a little bit janky, but overall, overall it looks good. It looks quite good. Like it looks potentially good enough. I think the next question really is how good will the characters be, and how fun will the gameplay loops be? I think that's and how does like all the multiplayer come together and stuff. So that is my honest feedback. If you are interested in pre-registering for the game, click the link down below. It really actually does help out the channel if you click the link down below. I'm definitely going to play it. I think it has a lot of potential. I couldn't say right now if it's a game that I'll play long term or a game that I'll cover, but it's definitely a game I've always been keeping my eye on, and one that I will continue to, because I do think it has a lot of bones. There's definitely some stuff that's not for me. There's definitely some questions that I have, but I think it has a lot of really good things going for it. And I know that Tower Fantasy, which is this game's previous company, got off to a really rocky start, and it sort of never really recovered in the public perception. But I have heard from a lot of the people playing it that, you know, that it got better and that they made improvements over time and they didn't give up on the game, which is a good, you know, a good quality to have. And hopefully that they learned from those previous mistakes, or if I really don't know what happened, right? I don't know. I didn't follow it very closely. at the time. I wasn't a content creator then, but hopefully they learned from that experience and they can make this game be something special. Yeah, we really don't know what the actual systems and like what the gameplay loop is going to be, what it's like for it, what does it mean for it to be an MMO, and that will really determine how like super stoked I am for the game. So let me know your thoughts. Take care. Bye for now.